everybody, and welcome to Photomikes Garage. Okay, today I'm at the GSC Surplus. That is the Canadian Federal Government Surplus Auction warehouse. And I've got myself something special today. Oh, excuse my voice. I know I sound like a frog. I got a bit of a head cold. Nothing serious, just a cold. So you can see behind the gates, there's all sorts of interesting automotive, including a wrecked Ford Explorer. That one has seen its last day, that's for sure. But they also have a lot of nice Crown Vics. Okay, sorry. Yep. Yes, I'm picking up this car, yeah. I'm videotaping the cars outside your gates. Okay. As you can see, they don't like it when you video anywhere near them. Being the federal government, all very secretive. Anyway, this is what I've got right here. I've got a Crown Victoria, that's right. Okay, I just won this Crown Victoria at auction. It's a 2011 Crown Victoria Police Interceptor. I've had a few of these, as you know, on my channel. It's been a while since I've had one, and I'm really happy to see this car. Unfortunately, it's looking a little bit rough. It's not the best I've ever seen. You can see that it had a push bar, and that now the bumper's a little deformed and a little got some rust marks on there. It's missing the license plate bracket, but that's not a big deal. I can paint over those rust spots and make it look great. The two headlights are not too bad a shape. This one's a little bit hazy. Not bad, not bad. Let's continue around, look at the exterior. Oh. And of course, I've already bought this car. There's nothing I can do, but if you're gonna buy a car, make sure you always go to the auction, take a look. You look underneath here to the radiators. This is where you can see if they have any oil leaks, because sometimes the oil cooler sometimes does leak, and in this case it looks pretty clean. And I always check the tread on the tires. This one's got winter tires. This car's from up north. Actually, it's from Courtenay, which is up north in British Columbia. Quite cold, lots of snow, so they just run the cars with winter tires all year long. The rims are rusty. The rims are really rusty, but that's no big deal. You just got to paint it, no problem at all. Got some rust marks right here, little dents. So these cars are never perfect, and they're just never going to be perfect. They're used, and to me that's part of the appeal of the car, is that it's actually done service. And they're in remarkable good shape despite that surface. Oh, we got some rust right here. A little bit of surface rust, no big deal. You see we got some marks that are starting to rust. I'm going to clean that up, paint over that. And these cars are flex fuel. They can run on E85 as well as gasoline. That's kind of convenient depending on where you are. If you got E85, that's great. Yeah, so this is just a nice car. It's not too bad. It's not the best, but it's not too bad. Let's take a look at the interior. The seats are a little bit worn, but they're very durable seats. They got a few wear marks here, but this is better than a lot of them. A lot of them have a rip right here. This one does not. That's not bad. Of course, you have your rubber floor mats. They're easy to clean and easy to make look good. You can spray these with a vinyl spray and make them look like brand new. This steering wheel is in good shape too. Sometimes the foam is chunked out. This one's great shape. And this is your standard dash. It's very simple. These are very simple, straightforward cars. Oh, my voice is going. Wow. They have a very basic radio, so you don't get them for that. They have great air conditioning if it's working. They have adjustable pedals, as you can see. The pedals move. So these cars are made to fit all different size people. It's missing the ticket light. That's very annoying. I love it when they have a ticket light here. That's a red light that allows you to write a ticket and not affect your vision. But yeah, this is pretty standard. Nice big glove box. This is how you open the trunk. You just press this button. Let's take a look back there. But first, the rear seats. These are a vinyl rear seat, very durable, and they're almost always in excellent shape because often they have plastic prisoner seats back here, and then when they put the cars up for auction, they take those out to reuse them and put the old vinyl seats that they had in storage back in. So often these things are like brand new and they don't show any wear at all, and this one looks in really good shape. Okay, we got a giant trunk here. This is the wiring they have for all their electronics at the back here. It's all been cut off. This car unfortunately does not have any spare. They often don't. It does have the jack, which is nice. Oh, and a hole that goes right through to the ground. But yeah, huge trunk, absolutely huge. This tire looks like it's a little low. Gonna have to put some air in here. And we got a few little rust marks. Okay. So far the car looks acceptable. But let's take a look at the engine now. And there it is in all its glory. 4.6 single overhead cam Ford motor, 2-valve motor, the most reliable motor that Ford makes, period. Forget about the 5.3, 5.7, 4.6. This is the way to go. And look how clean it is in here. You got to think how hard these cars are used, and yet this is clean. Look at clean, clean, clean. They regularly change the oil in these cars. The maintenance is top notch. So yet one of the most important things about keeping a motor alive is the oil changes, and they're done regularly and often with the federal government. And of course, when you're looking at a car in auction, you want to check the steering linkage right there. You can see right through here. There's your steering linkage. Sometimes on the Crown Vics, because it's so exposed, it can be rusty. This one is not rusty, looking good. All the fluid levels are fine. Always check the oil. Make sure that it's okay. And looks good. Looks actually quite fresh. There you go. Another thing you want to check, especially with Crown Vics of this era, is they use plastic intake manifolds. These are the runners right here. And they often crack because they see a lot of heat. If they crack, then sometimes antifreeze can be leaking out of them. And they often have a crack right here or right here. And sometimes you can see antifreeze down in the valley, but this one looks good. Looks good. Now, if you do have one with a crack, it can be relatively cheap to replace it if you can do it yourself. Excuse my voice. You can get these for like 150 bucks. Okay, and we just check all fluid levels, make sure. Another thing you want to do is check the antifreeze. You want it to be clear. In this case, antifreeze is red on the Fords, but you don't want it to be milky, because that means that oil is getting into the antifreeze. You don't want that, that's for sure. Okay, I think it's time to start this sucker up. All right, that's a very important thing. That's a very important thing that this car started up right away, because lately at the federal auction, they have not been allowing us to start the cars because I guess they're just too busy to let us do that. And so you're really taking a gamble. Really taking a gamble. Okay, we have a low air pressure. Okay, so the big one, we don't have an engine light. That's really important. But the low pressure, that's we just got a leak in our tire. That's no big deal. Another thing that's absolutely great about these cars is that all the seat controls are on the door, and they almost always work. And so it's very easy to get this vehicle configured to exactly where you want it to be. You got a tilt steering as well. Tilt steering. And so, and of course, as I told you already, the pedals go back and forth. So the pedals, the brake, it's all good. Now that we got the motor running, idling, we can listen for any strange noises. I think I have lucked out. I have lucked out again. I got horseshoes up my ass, that's for sure. There is no strange noises. I went and bought this car from the auction without even running the motor first, which is taking a big chance. But I lucked out. It's making the normal clicking that's coming from the injectors. There's no knock, there's no rod knock, which is a death thing. You don't want that. It's running good, smooth, no real vibrations. I have lucked out again. All right, I've checked everything out. I scored again. This is a fantastic Crown Vic. I know it's not perfect, it's got a few dents. I'm gonna cover that up. I'm gonna paint that up. But you know, it's really in good shape. And it's only got 165,000 Ks. It's got a couple of tires with have a slow leak, no big deal. Battery's good, the motor runs perfect. Now it's time to take it for a test drive and head on home. All right, driving the 2011 Crown Vic. Good acceleration right away. I kind of like that. No ticking, no groaning, no moaning. This car's good. Let's try out the brakes. Whoa. Brakes are good. Brakes are good. Transmission shifting smoothly, evenly, no problems. Signals work. Brakes work. I'm liking this a lot. Yes, indeed. I think I have scored. Here we go. Here we go. Yes. Man, there's just something special about a Crown Vic. It's really hard to put into words. I highly recommend that if you have the chance, you give it a try. You give a Crown Vic a try. You'll never find a cheaper, more reliable car that is fun to drive, despite the fact that it doesn't look like it would be fun to drive, of course. It's fairly big. It's almost a boat, I guess you could say. It's fairly big, and but it's easy to drive. What I've noticed about Crown Vics is that the steering is quite light, which some people don't like. I personally actually like it. The steering is also very fast. Let's just close this window up in case you're getting a lot of wind noise. I don't know if you guys can hear my frog voice at all or not. But yeah, I mean they're easy to drive. The steering is very quick. It's got a fast ratial steering, which is very fun to have. And the controls are all very light. Power steering is light. Brakes are adjustable, as I said before. Brakes feel good. Everything's power, everything. You got cruise control, you got power windows, and complete power seat adjustments. Brakes feel good right there, yeah. Feel really good. Then we'll do a little acceleration down the country roads here. Whoa! Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. It's got that, I guess you can't hear it, but it's got that traditional Crown Vic police interceptor sound. Sort of like a, that's so hard to describe, but it's got a very unique sound to the engine that can't be replicated by any of the car. You know you're in a Crown Vic when you hear that. Yeah, it feels good. Suspension is relatively soft. It handles good. It's got big sway bars, but the springs themselves are relatively soft, so you don't get beaten up on this ride at all. Seats are big and cushy. They don't hold you in, of course. They don't have much bolstering. That's because they're made for those big police officers with their big belts and their big guns and everything else. And they got no room for tight little sport seats. And so you got to live with that. If you want, you can always swap in some seats from a Grand Marquis or something else and sort of do a little bit of an upgrade. Okay, so in conclusion, I have to do my conclusion because my voice is starting to go. But anyway, in conclusion, I have scored again with this 2011 Crown Vic. Remember, if you bid on these auctions, you're taking a chance. It seems like most of the time they won't even let you run the car, which is unacceptable. But they don't seem to care, you know, government, what are you going to do, right? And but so far I've been lucky. These cars tend to be good, and their value is going up. I'm telling you, buy a Crown Vic while you can. They won't be at auction forever. Eventually they're all going to be sold off, and they're just going to go up in price because they're a special car. They always were a special car. For a certain generation, they mean a lot. So I would hold on to them, and you definitely won't lose money. You definitely will not lose money. So before my voice completely goes, I'm going to sign off. So thanks for watching Photomikes Garage. I will see you next time. And please tune in again for more Crown Vic content, which is more exciting than minivan content, that's for sure. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Yeah, it's a good one. This is a good one. I sound like a frog.